Good afternoon and welcome to the latest eTrepid security webinar series today. We appreciate everyone taking the time out of your busy schedules so close to Thanksgiving holiday. For those of you who are not familiar with eTrepid, we are a managed service provider for small to medium-sized businesses. We're typically referred to as the SMB market. My name is Jim Garvin. I am the client account manager for eTrepid. We also have with us today Lisa Vick of Inside Sales and Jordan Rutledge from the Marketing and Development team, who will be monitoring the questions for today's webinar. I would like to quickly go over what makes eTrepid unique from other managed service providers. So we have zero data loss. So clients under our managed services have never lost data. We are the recipient of the 2018 Beacon Award, which is from St. Mary's County Chamber of Commerce. Our experience team combines up to over 125 years of experience in the field. We are 24/7, 365 live, so that means we're never closed. Support is always available by phone, chat, email, and our systems are constantly monitored by a seasoned and certified IT professional. We do offer a 10-minute guarantee that a seasoned IT professional will be working on your service request in 10 minutes or less. Our engineers are not salespeople. Our account team is comprised of seasoned and certified IT professionals whose compensation is not based on any type of commission structure. We are a local and veteran-owned small business. eTrepid was the first to receive the CompTIA MSP Trustmark credential in the Southern Maryland area, and we're very, very proud of that. That's a tough credential to get. We are a one-stop shop. All IT needs can be met in one place, and we have the experience and capability to provide everything you need for a smooth IT operation. We can provide on-site anywhere, which means all 50 states and Canada. We do have a $1 million guarantee. Clients covered by our ransomware warranty will be reimbursed up to $1 million if we are unable to keep you safe from an attack. And last, we do offer our clients can qualify for a $500,000 cyber data breach coverage insurance policy. So with that, what we're going to talk about today is the dark web, and the goal of today's webinar is to provide you the necessary understanding and information of what the dark web is and how you can ultimately protect yourself and your business from the dark web. With that, we are delighted to have Dan Tomaszewski with ID Agent with us today. Dan is the Vice President of Channel Success and Training. He is instrumental in developing ID Agent's managed service provider ecosystem and building out partners, resource, and education. In his role, Dan provides subject matter expertise in the area of IT hardware, software, and security services. He leads the partner success team with the mission to help ID Agent partners fully understand how to protect their clients from the dangers of exposed credentials on the dark web. He regularly speaks to MSP groups and their customers about strategies to guard and defend against vulnerabilities, attacks, and threats around the world. So with that, Dan, take it away.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much for having me today. I'm delighted to be on to help educate and be a part of the eTrepid's security awareness. So like you said, I am from Dark Web ID. eTrepid is a certified dark web monitoring company with us. And I hope today my goal is to teach you and your business of the threats that are out there today that are against your business on the dark web. So we're going to start diving in here to the first slide and really, start talking to you about what you're seeing, what we're seeing on the dark web, and what cybercrime really is. So 80% of the hacking related breaches are leveraged with stolen passwords, and or you have passwords that are weak or guessable. So we're seeing this throughout the industry now is that passwords have been breached through, let's say it could have been an Amazon, a Staples, or like a LinkedIn, and it's also a network password that someone's using. So they're getting their email address and password off the dark web because of a third-party website data breach. And now they're able to take that and get into the network. So that's where 80% of hacking related breaches come from, is because they've leveraged that password because it was out there. 85% of the businesses with 1,000 or less employees have been hacked, and most of them don't even know it. It's something you're going to hear me talk about, and eTrepid will be able to let your business know if you got exposures in that on the dark web, and we'll go over that towards the end of the call. But so many times businesses don't realize they have credentials that are out there. They don't realize that they have a username and a password that's sitting out there that's exposing them, making them that sitting duck, and they don't even know it's there. 4.2 billion email accounts and credentials, and 85 million stolen PII. So PII is personal identifiable information, where you're seeing driver's license, social security numbers, date of birth, credit card numbers. All of that information can be exposed on the dark web, which is why we're going to go over dark web monitoring and some of the things that are really important today for a business to help make sure that you're protected. So we're going to go into some of the cost. The costs are really, it's going up month by month, year by year. We're seeing the numbers just skyrocket. So the global cost of data breaches will reach over $2.1 trillion by 2019. I mean, that's just crazy. This is an official business. I mean, it's happening all around the world, and it's not stopping. It's not going anywhere. It's now, how do we defend, protect, and are we prepared for data breaches when they happen? Over 73% of the US population has at least one compromised credential found on the dark web, and 18.6% of the US population with a compromised social security number on the dark web. Those are just some of the basic statistics that are out there, but I mean, it's really, it's an alarming number, and it's something that we definitely see a lot of businesses, having compromises, having data breaches, and exposing their employees and their company's information. So we're going to dive in here and talk about what we're seeing, with the whole entire dark web monitoring and what's going on the dark web. So what we're showing you right now is what we call a Tor website. So this is the dark web. Everyone says, what is the dark web? Can I just go to Google and get on it? No, you can't do that. You're going into it through what they call a Tor, like a Tor website. What we're showing here on the screen is really important. We see this on our end, along with the eTrepid team. This is a hacker basically saying, hey, can anybody help me find sites where I can download the latest leaked databases? Thanks in advance for your help. So, I mean, this is a business. So now they're posting. These people are like, I need the latest databases. I need to see some of this information. Where can I find it? And then right below there, next thing you know, you're seeing people that are posting, well, here's a Time Warner, here's, some Twitter, here's some this, and they're posting in there the different stuff. Here, email me at this email address. I'll get you some of the latest data. So this is just one image of the dark web, but I think it really hits home because a lot of small businesses, you have to remember, from the small, medium, large size businesses, hackers don't know who you are. They just know you as an email domain. They know you as an email address. They don't know the whole size of your company per se. So this is why it's really important that you take security measures, because it doesn't matter if you're small, medium, or large. On the hacker's end, they don't know necessarily that information. They could assume you're a 1,000-employee business and you could be a 10-person business. We're showing another site right here. This is probably one of the best things that I've seen is, in terms of really hitting home to us, or why it's important that we have credit monitoring, why we have dark web monitoring for our company. This site right here says, thank you again for giving us another chance to provide you with the best credit cards. It's a business. They're selling stolen credit cards on the dark web. I want a balance of $2,000. I want a balance of $10,000. I want a company black card. And they're putting them into groups where now people can go out there and they basically can say, give me this stuff. I'm going to buy it for $200. And now I just got a credit card with a $2,000 limit. So, and they give themselves reviews. It's like Amazon, or when you go to Staples or something and you review a product. You review sites on the dark web saying, I'm giving this guy 5-star because I bought 10 cards and they all worked. So the dark web is run as a business that's trying to exploit your business, trying to exploit you, and trying to exploit personal information. So it's really, really important today that, I give you that opportunity to see some of the threats that are there. They're really diverse. It can be from different nations. Organized crime is on there. You've got malicious insiders, motivated individuals. There's so much of a wide variety on the dark web. There's drugs. There's just so many things that happen. These are all things that we don't get a chance to see. It's not in front of us on a daily basis, but I get to see it with being on our side, from the cybersecurity aspect, and from the eTrepid side. They're able to see this data that pertains to you to help protect your business. And that's what we're going to start diving into, is what can eTrepid, what can Dark Web ID combined really do to help you and your business. So your business, small businesses, are at great risk. Data stolen from businesses ends up on the dark web, like we just showed you, where the criminals can buy and sell it. So again, we just showed you, a site where you can buy credit cards. We showed you some sites where people are asking for databases. It's out there for people to buy and sell. Information is available for sale on the dark web is up to 20 times more likely to come from an entity whose breach wasn't reported in the media. You see the targets, you see the different, airlines, and you see all of those because that's national attention and the media takes it. But what you're not seeing are the small businesses that are, one, either going out of business because of a data breach or ransomware attack. You're not seeing the small businesses that employees' social security numbers or the business company records have been compromised. You're not seeing that in mainstream media because it's not going to make the headline, because they can't do it in a wide variety. And that's the problem, is we really are bringing home, and this is what the dark web monitoring can do, is to show you that you might have exposures out there putting your company at risk. What we're going to talk about now is the human factor. And this is really important. We're going to have 2 slides back to back here, but we're showing you some different slides. You've got Uber, Adobe, Gmail, PayPal, all of these different things. You're seeing all these different logos popping up here. 76% of people will use the same password for most, if not all, websites. That is extremely high. And I can tell you right now, from a cybersecurity tip, if there's anything you take away from today, is you need to have unique passwords for all the different sites you go on. I understand it's a convenience factor to have it, but you really need to diversify your passwords, because having the same password for all of these sites, imagine what would happen if somebody got my password and it was the same on every single site. It really is putting me for a major exposure, especially if that's my network password, if that's my email password. It's really jeopardizing the company and the integrity of the data that we carry. On the next slide, we're going to talk to you now about, it's called our 9 different ways that, your employees' work credentials can lead to a breach. And I like to take a minute and really dive in here with you. So you probably have an HR and payroll department. If they're not outsourcing the payroll to like an ADP or a Paycheck or something like that, you're probably having to log into a government site to do unemployment or withholding taxes or different things that are related to your employee payroll. You're putting in an email and a password and a username on a third-party site. You probably have an email service. You're using Office 365, a G Suite, or some type of Exchange email. A lot of companies have a CRM, or a CRM is built into their line of business application. So, again, you're putting in your email and a password onto a third-party site. Imagine anybody that travels in your organization. They're probably using their company email so they can get their receipts, they can get all that information for travel purposes, but they're putting in their email and password, again, into a different site. And we keep going across communications. Who handles your, Verizon, AT&T? Who handles your cell phone account for the company? Who handles your Adobe, your e-commerce? Who does all your purchasing for inside the office? banking and finance, your collaboration, when you collaborate with other people, your Dropboxes, and then even social media. So we just shown you 9 categories that are in here. Now think about this for a second. If you have 50 employees and you take 9 categories and you say that you got, maybe 3 or 4 categories that your employees are in all the time, what happens if one of those sites is breached? And this is where we're going to drive into why dark web monitoring is really important, is because those sites can cause, if I go on and my Staples account is breached, all of a sudden, now they have maybe my network password because I'm using the same password. Now they can log into my email. Now they can do a phishing attempt. Now they can maybe log in and get banking information. And I would challenge you as an organization, do you know all the third-party sites that your employees are going to? What happens when they leave? They leave an organization. Just because you shut off an email address or just because they shut off the Active Directory doesn't mean that the Staples account is shut off. It doesn't mean that you're now deactivated from LinkedIn. Those usernames and passwords are still active, and we see time and time again where employees have left a company, their credentials are exposed in the dark web. You can log in, companies are taking the data that we're able to provide, and I'm going to dive into that here in just a second. They're logging in with the usernames and passwords to employees that haven't been around for the last, 3 years. And next thing you know, they're logging in and there's banking information, there's credit card information in there, there's employee social security number, and that employee hasn't even been with the company for the last 3 years. So it's extremely critical that you secure your business. With Dark Web ID, we can actually go through and we search the darkest corners of the dark web for you and your company. eTrepid takes the data that is found on your domain and provides you in real-time alerts saying, look, your email address, your password was just exposed on the dark web along with your date of birth. Maybe it's your address, maybe it's a phone number. But in real time now, you can find when data breaches happen and your information is exposed, you're now getting alerted by eTrepid saying, this has been exposed, we need to go on the dark web, or we need to have you go and take any site that you're using this password and change it because it was just exposed on the dark web. So it's driving home that eTrepid now can secure your business from those different sites that we were just looking at and showing you. We can alert you when your information hits those sites. So we're going to take a second here on Q&A. I'm going to add a couple other things. So I really want to highlight briefly, just again, dark web monitoring and what eTrepid is capable of producing real fast. So what we're basically going through and saying is that your organization needs to be checking to see if you have stolen credentials that are out there. You need to know if you have PII data out there. We want to make sure that if there is anything out there that you're getting passwords changed, you know that that information's there, because the more you know, the more you can protect. I say this time and time again, you can have firewalls, you can put the best security in place on your network, but if you have one third-party password, and if it's an email or whatever it might be, exposed on the dark web, it can really bypass that security that you're spending good money to have to protect your network. So this is another layer that's looking outside of your internal network and looking more at the external network. So I hope that this brought you some information of what the dark web is, why it's important you need to have it in your organization, and I'm glad, Jim, to take any questions that you or the team or anybody might have.
Thank you so much, Dan. So if anybody has any questions, now's the time. You can put them right in the chat. Lisa and Jordan will pass those questions on to Dan.
And while we're waiting for that, to come in, and you guys, Lisa or Jordan, if there is any, just interrupt me. I would just like to say, if you're on this call today, you have not seen a dark web scan, you have not seen, or you don't know if you have information that's on the dark web, you're going to see a slide here at the end that's going to talk. eTrepid and their team is going to give you a complimentary dark web analysis. And this is a tremendous value because this allows you to see if your organization is exposed. It'll actually show you the email address, and it'll show you the first 4 characters of the password. We mask it after the first 4 for just privacy reasons. But you're going to be able to tell right away that that's the password you're using. I would really recommend that your business reach out to eTrepid. You dive in and see with the dark web analysis. Again, they're giving this to you as a complimentary for being on this webinar today. Definitely take them up on this offer because you may be shocked with the data that's out there on your company and what risk, is currently out there for someone to possibly exploit your business.
I don't have any questions yet.
Okay, so if there are no questions, Dan, I'd like to thank you again for your time. It was very, very informative. And also like to thank everybody for joining the webinar today again, so close to Thanksgiving. Want to make sure everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. And if you need any additional information about the dark web or how eTrepid can help you provide some additional information, please reach out to us. Again, the www.etrepid.com, and our main phone number is 240-455-0131, and we will certainly do a complimentary dark web scan analysis along with a follow-up meeting to provide the feedback and the data